That's the word that we've gotten here for causing or disturbances at Wits University. You can see that the presence of police is exceptionally high on campus. A little bit earlier, you saw some of the students that were, what in my opinion looked like they were dancing quite peacefully, and the police set off a stun grenade to try and disperse the crowd. Well, what we are hearing and what we have got or seen so far is that one of the students has actually been arrested. It's a female that was put into the back of one of the police vehicles and has been taken off to one of the cells. But as we know, Griselda Lewis is there. We're trying to re-establish a connection with her. Well, there she is right now. But as soon as we do get that up, we'll be able to give you a report as to what is happening at Wits University. But when we last left her, the words she used was that the situation is exceptionally tense and that they were expecting a lot of turmoil to unfold throughout the day. This, as you know, as the University of Witwatersrand is expected to open once again today after being closed due to the fees must fall protest. And the University Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, putting a letter out last night saying that he has no option but to open the campus. 77% of students voted for it to open, and now they have to listen to the word and get this academic year completed for 2016. I think we've got Griselda on. Griselda, just give us an update. The visuals that we saw was a student being arrested. What happened? What's going on? Griselda, can you...
Well, Leanne, the situation extremely tense at this morning. The breaking news at this point as well now. Let's just move towards that direction. This is where one of the student leaders has been arrested. We understand there are two of them that are being taken to the Hillbrow police station at this point. Let's see if we can't speak to them just very briefly right here on air. Busisiwe, if we can just have a word with you at this stage. Busisiwe? Why are police saying they arrested you?
And police arrested me for asking too many questions, essentially about another student who was arrested. I was conducting an interview with ANN7, and when I inquired about the student, I was then arrested.
How many have you been arrested at this stage, and what is the way forward? Because the university is saying at this stage it wants the students to disperse from in front of the Great Hall.
Essentially, that was what students were doing. They were dispersed by the police using stun grenades. And as students were moving and running off, I was conducting an interview, and essentially we were trying to get our belongings from Solomon House after students were thrown out of Solomon House this morning by private security. The only reason why that group had gathered there was because they were trying to get their belongings from Solomon House. When they were prevented from doing so, they asked the police if they could wait for at least someone inside to bring their belongings outside, and that's when the police started shooting at students.
What's the way forward now? You've been resolute in that you will continue your protest despite management saying that the students should return to class and the lectures should get underway today.
Well, essentially, it all depends on the students and the masses that we know will come through today, later on today, to make sure that we continue on with the shutdown.
All right. So you continue with the shutdown. Thank you very much for your time there, Busisiwe Siabe. Just one of the student leaders that have been arrested here this morning. Breaking news, police firing stun grenades there to disperse a group of protesting students, and two of those have now been arrested. We understand that they will be taken to the Hillbrow police station in the next few minutes. You can see here a large police contingent remains. This is where the stun grenades were fired a bit earlier on this morning, but a lot of dissent here between the students as well as the police at this stage, as police try to move the students back to the area where as the university indicates that they're not allowed to gather here in front of this great hall where we are. If we could just take you towards the security contingent that you're also seeing here, and let's Let's just have a chat with one of these student leaders as well. Siswam, we saw the scenes that took place here this morning. Police firing stun grenades. What's the plan moving forward in terms of students?
Like we said, we're still not going back to class. The police just came here. Some students are waiting here to go into classes because they were supposed to go to class. And then they just came here and started arresting random students. Other people got arrested just for asking questions as to why are students being arrested. And then that's how some of our students got arrested. No one did anything wrong. They didn't do anything wrong. They came onto our campus and started arresting our students for nothing. For asking questions. We didn't block anyone from going to class. We were not being violent. Students are just standing here, and then they came, and now they're saying that they need to arrest more students. That's what they're saying now.
So, given that you're not allowed to gather here in front of the Great Hall, that's the instruction that the university has given. Some students want to go into class. Are those also being prevented from going in?
Yes, because there are classes that are at Central Block. Students are standing here because they are supposedly supposed to go to class. So clearly the instruction from management also contradicts itself. If students are supposed to go to class, then why is Central Block being blocked from entrance?
And nobody has seen the interdict.
Let's come this way. You're concerned about the interdict as well. You're one of the students here at the university.
Nobody has seen the interdict. All of this is illegal because students and academics were not consulted. Students are not allowed at a public meeting place because we are a public institution and students have a right to meet. And nobody has seen the interdict. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's see if we can't speak to some of the other students as well who are extremely concerned about the situation here. I think, ma'am, you were also affected by what took place here. Tell us what happened.
You know, this is our most important space on campus. It's our public space on campus. This is where students gather. One might not agree with students' tactics all the time, but there is no reason to create our universities into police states. There's just no reason. And we cannot be. Just last year we were saying no cops on campus, that universities should be autonomous spaces of freedom to learn, to criticize, to engage with the most significant of ideas in our society. And here we are, a year later, with swarms of police, public order policing. I mean, what are we trying to do here? Universities should be places of freedom and autonomy. And students, no matter what you think of their tactics, no matter whether you have criticism of the movement of how they're engaging the issues, are raising very important critical issues of our time. I mean, free education, access to education is critical for our society. And that we should be faced with this on arriving at campus is just... It's outrageous.
Just some clarification. Are you one of the academics here or are you one of the students?
I'm an academic.
You're an academic.
I teach in this building.
You teach in this building. What has the situation been like? You were told to return to the institution today. Are you now going to leave?
Well, I think what we have to try and do is figure out a way beyond this situation. I mean, what's really important is that university management is, I mean, as much as I don't agree with what they've done here, university management is responding to the symptoms of a very deep structural condition. And the structural condition is that year on year the state has underfunded university education. Year on year, for 20 years, we have seen undercuts in the funding of education in this country, higher education. And we are now in a situation where students are being asked to bear the cost and the brunt of that decreased state funding by having to pay more and more fees every year. And so students are feeling that the most intensely, but now academics are also starting to feel it. We're being asked to cut, we're being put under austerity measures, and we cannot continue without much more public funding to universities. We cannot continue. We've given up everything we can in order to maintain the functioning of universities. So we need more state funding in order to retain our public universities and retain the quality of the universities. So, you know, I understand that management is in a very difficult position dealing with protesting students, but this cannot be the solution. It simply cannot be the solution to create our universities into police states.
So as an academic, are you leaving now? I mean, the situation certainly doesn't seem conducive for any lectures to take place.
Well, I think what we're going to have to do is follow our students to the Hillbrow police station, and what we've already done is try to engage with management yesterday and today to try and get police off campus and try and broker a solution. And it is the responsibility, I think, of academics at this time to step into into this impasse and try and. But our hands are also tied because we are under threat. We are under austerity measures, and it's very little wiggle room that the state is leaving us by serious years of underfunding.
Thank you very much for your time there. I think let's just move towards this direction. There are some of these academics, of course, indicating there that the situation is quite tense here at the stage. If we could ask our camera person, Mangoba, just to move towards that direction. We'll show you now exactly just how many security personnel have been brought in here to the front row here of the Great Hall. This is where the private security is now manning the entrance to the Great Hall, where students claim they're now not being able to enter at this stage. So the university itself indicating that it has to bring so much security onto the campus because of the tense situation that we saw at the university yesterday. I know often, the security personnel don't often want us to take pictures, but they'll forgive us at this point as we need to report about the situation here at Wits University. Students again back at the spot here where police had fired stun grenades just a few minutes ago. Back at this point, at just 2 of the students have been arrested so far, and we're expecting the situation to remain very tense here at Wits University as the lectures were expected to get underway this morning, but under a very tense climate with a large police contingent here as well as security as a result of the situation here. But we'll certainly bring you a lot more from what's happening here at Wits University a bit later on. We'll monitor the situation and how Wits University also plans to take a way forward or to make a decision on whether now it will then shut down the campus for the remainder of the year. You must recall a statement that was issued yesterday that said that if the situation continues today, the Wits University says it will then have no choice but to shut down the university for the remainder of the year. And that will have detrimental effects, effects of first-year students would not be able to register at the institution. We understand that there are about 75,000 of those applications that have already been brought to the university as well. Threats as well of funding that will be lost by some of these students. On the other hand, the students who are protesting are saying that the fees have to fall. There cannot be an increase in the 2017 academic year. They do not welcome the 8% cap that was announced by the Higher Education Minister, Bladen Zimande. But if we just look towards that direction, you can certainly see that the police now, together with the students at this stage, and this is where police had earlier fired those stun grenades. But we'll certainly cross back live here on SABC channel 404 as well as on SABC 2 on all the latest here at Wits University. But breaking news, stun grenades fired at Wits University and 2 students have now been arrested.
All right, thank you very much to Griselda Lewis. We can also confirm that the student that was arrested was also one of the student leaders, and her name is Busisiwe Siabe. So that was the lady that we heard speaking, and she was in one of the vans saying that she was arrested because she was asking too many questions. We also just need to, I know that Griselda Lewis had alluded to what the Vice-Chancellor had written in his letter, but there's also a segment that needs to be read out loud once again. What the Vice-Chancellor did say in the letter that he wrote last night was, no mass meetings will be allowed in Solomon Mahlangu House. Anyone caught contravening any university rule or court interdict or infringing on the rights of others will immediately be held accountable for their actions and may face criminal charges. So that was the warning that was put out last night, and they're taking it very, very seriously. So this is something that we need to keep in mind as we see the events unfolding today. 2 students arrested so far, and it sounds like the university has absolutely no fear in arresting more if they contravene anything that's been stipulated out of the university. But it doesn't end there, because let's now go over to UCT. There's also